Wyatt Johnston continues his rise into superstardom. The Jamie Benn heater continues, and the Dallas Stars have now won 5 straight after a 6-3 win over the Sharks in San Jose.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans, and welcome back to another episode of Locked On Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every single day. It's a pleasure to be with you. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan and play-by-play voice of the Chippewa Steel. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. The Dallas Stars are finally done with the San Jose Sharks. They played them 3 times in a span of about 3 weeks, and it was just all kinds of chaos that came with it. But they do sweep the season series after a 6-3 win over the Sharks last night. Hope you stayed up to enjoy that 6-3 thriller. It really wasn't. It was kind of a snooze fest, to be completely honest. But it's 2 points nonetheless, and the Stars have sole possession of first place in the Central Division. So we can celebrate a bit here on today's episode, and we'll celebrate Wyatt Johnston once again. I know, but we have to. Him and Jamie Benn cannot be stopped as of late. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more right now. New customers get $200 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $200 if your bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com/locked on to get started. What else can be said about Wyatt Johnston? And I think I made this statement at the beginning of the season, like a month in, that Wyatt Johnston is a superstar. And it rings true through game 73 and the complete domination he has been on in the month of February, and now almost through the entire month of March. He picks up 3 points in the win last night, 8 points in 3 games against the Sharks this season. I thought he was going to get another 5-point effort like he did a few weeks ago, but he will be held in check to just 3. Had a shorthanded goal, his 3rd shorthanded goal of the season. It was a beauty on the breakaway to start the scoring off in the first, and the Stars took care of business in San Jose. It was funky. It was a little bit pickup game-ish, where the Stars were going through the motions during stretches of the game. San Jose made it a 1-goal game in the second period after the Stars took a 3-0 lead, and they made it interesting, but Dallas was able to tack on some insurance and handle it the rest of the way. But Wyatt Johnston just has been incredible. His now 5 goals against the Sharks, because he had the Hattie in San Jose. He now has 5 against the Sharks this season in the 3 games. It's the most goals by a Dallas Stars player in a single season versus the Sharks. He ties Mike Modano. So in pretty good company. Obviously, he has a statue now out in front of the American Airlines Center. And Johnston did it in 3 games. Modano back in 07-08 did it in 8, and he also did it in 93-94 in 4 games. So my money would be on Wyatt if they were playing another game against San Jose. But I think Dallas is probably happy to dispatch of them and just be done with it. It's really weird in San Jose. Not a whole lot of buzz with the attendance and just what's going on. Of course, their lack of success is well documented this season, as they basically are in search of the number 1 pick here in the summer. But the Stars pick up the full 2 points, and that's all they needed to do, and they did it relatively comfortably, which is a good sign. Jamie Benn now scores in 5 straight games. He had a beauty, batted out of midair, his 17th of the season. What a heater he's on. Johnston, by the way, now has the team lead with 28 goals this season. He's on the precipice of his first 30-goal campaign. And the Stars just can attack from so many different angles. They outshot San Jose 41-20 in the game. Ben also had a 3-point night, by the way. Need to throw that out there. and Dallas just kind of took care of business from there. Look, Wyatt Johnston's the best player on this team night in and night out. Plain and simple. He's the best player on this team. And it's just so fun to watch. He plays with such a cockiness or a swagger about him, and maybe that's not the right adjective, but the quiet confidence that he's just better than everybody else on the sheet. And you can see it from him. He goes into every battle with the belief he's going to win. Every shot he takes, he believes he's going to score. It exudes from him, the belief. And you can tell it. You can just tell it on the ice, night in and night out. And he makes everybody around him better. And Jamie Benn is on this heater right now, along with Johnston. And holy cow, this is Jamie Benn and Seguin in their primes we're witnessing right now. Seriously, it is something that these two have been on a run here recently, and they both combined for 6 points. And it's the Sharks at the end of the day, of course. But hey, a 3-point night is a 3-point night. And the Stars take care of business. By the way, I'll throw this out at you. Mason Marchment scored a beauty for his 20th goal of the season. The Stars now have 7 players with over 20 goals this season. And there's only 6 teams in the cap era that have done that. And Marchment, of course, is added to that list. They're the only team that has 7 in the National Hockey League. Plus, Jamie Benn is at 17. Who knows? If he keeps up this pace, he'll probably reach the 20-goal mark. And the Stars don't even have a 30-goal man. And Johnston's the closest. It's something, man. It's a historic pace for the Stars. What they're doing offensively, and it's a bit mind-boggling how many times they've put up 5 and 6 a night, especially against the Pacific Division. We'll jump into that here in a bit because the Stars have dominated the other side of the Western Conference this season. They're now 13-0 against the bottom 5 teams in the NHL this season, albeit there has been some scares and thrillers in that. But sometimes you just got to pick up points where you can. Miro picked up an assist in the game. Some other big nights from guys. Robertson had 2 goals. Don't forget about that. And just an overall kind of dominating night, but didn't really feel like it. Just it had a pickup game kind of feel to it, where in the second period, the Stars, you could just tell we're kind of going through the motions and just kind of hoping the Sharks would lay down, so to speak. But San Jose continued to play hard, and they did for the majority of the night. And the Stars weren't very disciplined in their defensive zone, especially on the few goals they gave up. And they were a bit sloppy at some points. But Wedgwood was great. Good to get him back in between the pipes. He ends up with 17 saves, made a couple of beauties too towards the end. And Dallas walks away with the win, right? 5 straight wins. They're now sole possession in the Central Division. Last night was crazy, by the way. The slate of games within the National Hockey League, the lead changes, the playoff implications was wild. It was wild. Colorado lost to Montreal. Winnipeg fell into overtime. So the Stars are 5 clear of the Jets. They're a couple clear of Colorado. The Avs do have a game in hand. By the way, Nashville continues their run, an incredible comeback over Vegas to stun the Knights in overtime. They have 90 points now through 72 games. So there's a lot of different combinations and possibilities here in the final 9 games for the Dallas Stars. And we'll kind of jump into that, talk about the President's Trophy. The Stars have a legitimate shot to win President's Trophy. Do you want them to win it, though? That's the big question. And we'll touch on that in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by eBay Motors. Passion, drive, and patience, that's what brings home the winning trophy and is also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level up to peak performance, from superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has got you covered. With over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, you'll always find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're burning rubber, not cash. With all the parts you need at the prices you want, it's easy to turn your car into the MVP and bring home that win. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit only available to U.S. customers. So the Stars, with their win last night over the Sharks, they jumped to first place in the Central Division. As I mentioned, they are now first place in the Western Conference. So now we get into this would you rather situation we went over yesterday. If you did not check out that episode, be sure to check it out. We played a would you rather postseason edition. I threw out 3 scenarios that the Stars could be in, and I would love to hear your feedback and your answers on that. So the Stars are now the number 1 seed. Vancouver does have a game in hand, by the way. So the Stars would be scheduled to play Vegas now. But they also have the opportunity to win the President's Trophy. They're just a point behind New York, the Rangers, who actually clinched a playoff spot with a win yesterday. They're the first team within the NHL to do that. So the Stars could, in theory, win the President's Trophy. They haven't done that since 1999. And good things happened after that, of course. Do you want them to win the President's Trophy? Of course, it comes with a bit of history in a lot of ways. Not a lot of teams have won the Stanley Cup after winning it. Look at the historic season Boston had. Florida, I believe in 22, was knocked out in the first round. There of course, have been some teams back in the day that have, of course, won it all. Colorado's namely one, but that was a while ago too. So yeah, it's interesting that it's even within their grasp, because it's something that has not become relevant until really about 3 days ago, it feels like, but it is very much within their grasp. I'll be honest, I don't really have a staunch opinion on it, and maybe that's just me sitting on the fence. Look, if they win it, they win it. It's hardware, but who cares? At this point, what does the President's Trophy do for the Stars, right? And what does winning the West or the division really do? It's nice, of course. And I think it's good. You tack on something to the resume, but we all know the end goal. We all know the end goal for guys like Pavelski and Suter and Benn and Seguin. And Seguin, of course, has won it, but you're trying to win a Stanley Cup. So is the President Trophy become a part of that? Maybe it does, and maybe you have good history with it if you win it. I don't see them winning it down the stretch. Yeah, their schedule's a bit soft, but New York and Boston are still juggernauts in the East, and everything's tightly contested. I mean, it's incredible. I can't remember it being this close. 1 through 10 is only divided by 10 points. New York's at 100. You got Edmonton and Nashville at 90. And then you have the slew of teams, as I talked about yesterday, with Dallas and Carolina that are separated by 2 points, by just 2 points. And it's just, who knows what's going to happen down the stretch. And now you get into the, do you want to play Nashville? Because they can't be stopped. They're, what is it, 18-0-2, or maybe it's 16-0-2 in their last 18? Like, good Lord. Do you really want to face that team in the first round? And I know I said I would rather take them over Vegas in the first round, but I don't know if you want to play either one of them. You have to pick your poison. You may be better off just playing Winnipeg in the first round. But as I said a ton as well here down the stretch, just you're going to have to beat a really good team at some point. I think for the Stars, it's going to be really important that they dispatch of a team really early at some point within their run. 5 games, right? Maybe in the first round. And that's really hard to do with all that. The true, like, this isn't just a couple of fugazi teams in. Like, these are some real cup contenders. And Vegas is your second wild card. Like, these are teams that are going to be very tough outs. If they can dispatch of a team in 5 games, I think that could go miles for them in their run. An extra few days of rest, extra few days to get healthy, because there's going to be guys that are banged up. There's going to be all types of scenarios that are happening night in and night out within the Stanley Cup playoffs. And if they can dispatch of a team early, maybe that helps them in the long run. But they're 45-19-9 now on the season. And it's mind-boggling to me to say that they're first in the Western Conference. I always kind of threw it out there over the past few weeks that it was possible. And maybe I just didn't believe that it could happen. But who am I to doubt what this team has done throughout the season? And they're on a bit of a mini win streak here now with 5 straight wins, and they're getting some help from other teams. It's going to be chaos down the stretch. And the President's Trophy is a very interesting, I guess, resume builder, if you want to call it that. Would love to hear your thoughts if you would like the Stars to win the President's Trophy or not. I feel like the overwhelming decision would be no, or opinion on that, but maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, how about that? Saad Youssef tweets this out last night. Stars chasing the division. He does these like tired Wired takes. If you follow him on the X, and then he put tired. Stars chasing the division. Wired. Stars chasing President's Trophy. Oh, crazy stuff. But yeah, season sweep, series sweep over the San Jose Sharks, and they take on another Pacific Division opponent here tomorrow against the Vancouver Canucks. Stars have dominated the Pacific Division this year. I'll tell you a bit more on that and see if the Stars can do that the rest of the way on this road trip. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. Hey, Stars fans, be completely honest. Your bracket is busted after the first weekend of March Madness. Say goodbye to those brackets because FanDuel lets you bet on every game of the tourney. Got the Sweet 16 here in the next few days. Whether you're betting big on that upset or just a one seed, it's time to go dancing on America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 to use on point spreads, money lines. You can even pick who's going to win it all. Purdue versus Gonzaga. I really like that one. I have Gonzaga in my final four, by the way. So I'll be pulling for the Zags here. Some really interesting matchups here down the stretch. All the one seeds are still in it. So do you want to go with them or go with the big upset? Who cares? Make some money with FanDuel. New customers, $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. By the way, FanDuel.com/lockedon. That's FanDuel.com/lockedon and bet on college hoops until they cut the nets down. Are you watching Fox Sports or ESPN on your TV all day, Stars fans? And you got to turn the volume down because of all that shouting. Just go ahead, make the switch to Locked On Sports today. It's a free 24/7 streaming channel program for you every day. It's on YouTube. It's also free Amazon Fire TV channels app. So go ahead and check it out. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. Never miss an episode of Locked On Stars. Follow us on Twitter. Locked On Stars. Follow me on Twitter at Joey the Jet 19. A lot of things to jump into here as we approach the postseason. This year's gone by fast. It's gone by fast and slow at the same time. Just 9 games remain. It's kind of crazy. In 3 weeks, Stars will play their regular season finale. But they're currently 2 games through this little 4-game road trip. They all play Western Conference teams, Pacific Division teams specifically. And the Stars have played really, really well against the Pacific this season. They're now 13-3-4 throughout the year. Do not have a ton of quality wins, so to speak. Of course, they played Vegas 3 times early. They were stumped by the Knights. That may be a case where you took on Vegas at a very inopportune time. If those games were later, maybe it's a different story. But they beat Vancouver a few times. They've beat Seattle. Did not fare very well against Calgary. And of course, the Pacific does have some of the worst teams with you got the Ducks and you also have the Sharks, but they ran through LA pretty good too. And just looking at some of the numbers, the amount of times they've scored 4 against the Pacific, and I'll just run through these here: 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 7, 6, and then 4, 4 against LA a couple of times. And of course, yesterday you pick up the 6 here against San Jose. They've outshot their opponents quite a bit within the Pacific too. They've really got some help on the power play during those what has been now 21 games against the Pacific Division. The multi-goal power play goals are pretty drastic compared to really their numbers throughout the season. They had 3 against Anaheim and 1. They had 2 against San Jose. Then you had 2 against the Ducks really, really early on in the year, and then a couple against Edmonton as well. So 4 multi-point or multi-power play goal efforts within the Pacific as well. So really some dominating performances against that part of the Western Conference. And I'm really, really excited for this one here tomorrow against Vancouver. It's going to be a tougher test. They haven't played very well in Vancouver, and it's the two top teams in the Western Conference. So it has all the makings for a really fun hockey game. And yesterday was a bit of just, as I mentioned, going through the motions. So I think Thursday will have a little giddy up in their step. And if you win that one, you are having a great road trip. It is a great road trip, whether you finish it off against against Seattle on Saturday nights. But already a really great start. They continue some of their dominance on the road. They just get such great goaltending, and the offense explodes every time. It's just like clockwork with the Stars here as of late. But of course, they're going to have to be way more tidy than they were on Tuesday against the Sharks. And the Canucks are an interesting team. They're 7-2 in their last one, by the way. And of course, we'll touch on them a bit more tomorrow. But just throwing that out there as a little preview. And the Stars have caught them 45-19-9, and Canucks are 45-19-8. So yeah, they are pretty they're pretty identical. So yeah, I'm just excited to kind of take that one in. It's another one of those measuring stick games, and Dallas usually plays up to their opponents, but haven't really closed out against a ton of the top teams within the conference. So, or just really any team in the NHL. Unfortunately, it would be a real confidence booster if they're able to just play a real solid game on the road. So yeah, that's just a bit of the power play, or not power play, but just some of the Pacific Division dominance this season. And their special teams has been really good on the road as well. They of course cash in on the power play the other night. They do give up one, but they scored a shorthanded goal, so it was kind of a wash there. They have a top 8 PK on the road this season, and their power plays right around middle of the pack. So yeah, that all contributes to some pretty good stuff on the road, and that travels, right? That type of play travels wherever you go, whether it's West Coast, East Coast, Midwest, you name it, Canada, it'll travel with them. So yeah, some good stuff. Anyways, that's really all I got for you today. Okay, not a whole lot. I mean, the President's Trophy is within reach. So believe it or not, 5 straight wins. That's all that matters. Another 2 points added to the bank. Stars versus Canucks tomorrow. We'll break that one down. Wyatt Johnston's a superstar, everybody. Tell your friends, tell everybody you know. He's a superstar. He needs more attention. Jamie Benn is turning into a superstar again with what he's putting out on the sheet on a night in and night basis. And let Logan Stankoven score, okay? Okay? Netminders out there, I need him to continue racking up points. Just get him going. And let's get everybody hot. Let's have everybody firing in all cylinders heading into the playoffs. Well, that'll do it for today's episode of Locked On Stars. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know your feelings on everything revolving. Just go in there and vent, whether it's positive, negative. Just let me know. I want to know. That's it. Have a great rest of your day. All right, Stars fans, and we'll see you tomorrow.